17-year-old practicing with the Olympic team.
He ain't just tall, he athletic, can shoot it, can handle it.
Hell of a player, somebody that's just gonna only get better with more experience. 17 years old, coming in here playing like he's a vet.
I mean, he's a hell of a player, clear as day. Like, we gonna be playing against him in a few years.
Yeah, he got superstar around him. I can see kids wanting to be like that and play like that. You know what I'm saying? We ain't had no badass, cold-ass white boy like this in a long time. I'm just saying, that's on some real.
Cooper Flagg will be the talk of college basketball this season. He'll lead one of the most iconic college programs as a freshman and most likely be the #1 overall pick in the 2025 NBA draft. And although Cooper has the highest ceiling of any basketball prospect, he'll be under the most pressure of any college basketball player this season. We know he's been labeled as the next elite NBA talent out of college. That, as of now, is the consensus #1 overall pick. But the truth is that players who receive this crazy high level of praise and expectation don't always end up meeting them. In fact, it's more common to see these elite level prospects not reach that insane projection. Let's look at just the last 10 years. Andrew Wiggins, Ben Simmons, Zion Williamson, the list goes on and on. Is Cooper Flagg any different? I personally think he's a different beast entirely, but it could be too early to tell. And you also can't deny the history and the fact that we've seen this before. Not everyone ends up being LeBron or Wemby. To put it simply, Coop has a ton of potential, no doubt about it. And there's a legitimate chance that he can be the cornerstone of an NBA franchise and turn a rebuilding team into a contender in the future. But in this video, we're going to unveil the scary truth about Cooper Flagg. We're going to understand what he's accomplished, who he is as a prospect, and how he can be a star at the next level. Let's start from the beginning. Cooper Flagg attended one of the best high school basketball programs in the country. Montverde Academy has been home to dozens of NBA players. The list is fairly big, but some big names to come out of the program are Cade Cunningham, Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, D'Angelo Russell, and RJ Barrett. And Flagg was just next on the list. But he had to stand out if he wanted to be put in the same conversation as those players. It's not always easy to dominate on the national stage, with Montverde playing against the top prep schools in the country. So how did Coop respond? Well, pretty damn good. In his senior year at Montverde, Flagg averaged 16.4 points, 7.5 rebounds, 3.8 assists, and 2.7 blocks per game. He led Montverde to an undefeated season and a national championship while demonstrating pure dominance on both ends of the court. And he didn't just stand out at Montverde. In his appearances with Team USA U17 and the Nike EYBL, his averages were spectacular, coming in at 25 points, 10 boards, and 3 blocks per game. And by now we've all seen the footage of him this summer in the Team USA scrimmage prior to the Olympics. He legit looked like an NBA vet out there. If you haven't seen it, we have a full video breakdown of his performance with Team USA linked at the end of this video. To no one's surprise, Cooper was unanimously ranked as the #1 player in the class of 2024 by all ranking outlets like Rivals, 24/7 Sports, and ESPN. And with his choice of virtually any Division I program he wanted, he committed to play for one of the most historic and well-respected programs in the country, Duke University. But even after looking into his high school averages and the accolades he received, why is Cooper Flagg so special? What's all the hype for a player who is yet to even make his college debut? And why is everyone talking about this kid? Let's break it down. Cooper Flagg's game is already setting him apart as the most exciting prospect since Wemby, and for good reason. Let's start off with Coop's frame and athleticism. Flagg's physical profile is extraordinary for a 17-year-old. Standing 6'9" with an estimated 7-foot wingspan, he has the length and height of an ideal modern forward. But it's not just his size, it's his athleticism that jumps off the page. His leaping ability, speed, and mobility are exceptional for someone his height. Despite his large frame, he moves fluidly, displaying coordination and balance that you wouldn't expect from a player his size. His combination of power and grace on the court allows him to play above the rim and cover a lot of ground quickly, making him a threat in transition and a matchup nightmare for defenders. Flagg is also extremely versatile on the offensive side of the ball. He's a legitimate 3-level scorer. His offensive game is polished for his age, and his ability to score in different ways is what makes him such a dangerous player. In the half court, he can create his own shot or play off the ball, using his strong instincts to find open spaces and capitalize on scoring opportunities. While his three-point shot is still developing, his form is sound, and his high free throw percentage indicates he has the foundation to become a reliable outside shooter. His mid-range game is already solid, and he's shown proficiency both in catch-and-shoot situations and shooting off the dribble. His ability to drive to the basket is another major strength. While he's not the fastest player with his first step, Flagg makes up for it with superb footwork and instincts. His ability to adjust mid-drive and find counters to defenders makes him highly efficient in the paint. This skill, combined with his size, makes him extremely difficult to guard when he's attacking downhill. What sets Flagg apart from most forwards is his ability to handle the ball and distribute like a guard. He has a natural feel for the game, and his unselfishness on the court makes him a facilitator in addition to a scorer. His passing ability, especially for someone his size, is elite, and he has the potential to develop into a point forward, similar to players like Giannis, Tatum, or LeBron. His court vision allows him to exploit defensive gaps, and his ball handling gives him the flexibility to initiate the offense. While his offensive skills are impressive, it's on the defensive end where Cooper Flagg's potential truly shines. His defensive versatility, combined with his instincts and physical tools, make him a generational defensive prospect. Flagg is a premier shot blocker, with his size and wingspan allowing him to challenge shots at the rim effectively. His timing is impeccable, and he has an unbelievable ability to anticipate when and where an opponent will take their shot. This makes him a valuable rim protector, capable of altering shots and providing a defensive anchor for his team. One of the key traits of modern defensive players is the ability to switch onto different positions, and Flagg excels in this area. His lateral quickness allows him to guard smaller, quicker players on the perimeter, while his size makes him a force against big men in the post. This switchability is crucial in today's NBA, where teams often run positionless schemes, and Flagg looks like he was made for this style of play. His basketball IQ is also off the charts, particularly on defense. He knows how to position himself to disrupt passing lanes, anticipate plays before they develop, and contest shots without fouling. His instincts allow him to make high-level reads on defense, making him a menace in transition, where he can turn defense into offense quickly. Beyond his physical and technical skills, Flagg brings an intensity and competitiveness that elevates his game. His motor is relentless. He plays with a high level of energy on both ends of the floor, which, combined with his physical gifts, makes him an incredibly tough player to face. Despite his youth, Flagg has shown that he possesses a killer instinct. He doesn't shy away from big moments and has the ability to take over games when needed. Whether it's making a key defensive stop or hitting a clutch shot, he thrives under pressure. His decision to reclassify to the 2024 high school class from 2025 and still be the #1 player in the class shows exactly how talented this kid really is. At such a young age, he has the self-belief that he can compete with older, more experienced players. And so far, he's shown that he has exactly that. Cooper Flagg is an all-around talent with elite size, athleticism, and skill. Offensively, he's a dynamic scorer with the potential to develop into a point forward who can handle, shoot, and distribute at an elite level. Defensively, he's a rare breed who can switch 1 through 5 without any problem. He's an elite shot blocker, a lockdown defender, and super polished on the offensive side of the ball. His blend of offensive and defensive versatility makes him tailor-made for the modern NBA, and at 17 years old, his potential is sky high. If he continues on this trajectory, developing his three-point shot and refining his already impressive skills, Coop could be one of the defining players of the next generation. Cooper Flagg's potential is often compared to some of the NBA's most legendary players, but one comparison stands out above the rest: Kevin Garnett. And not just any Kevin Garnett, specifically the Minnesota Timberwolves version of KG. During the 2003-2004 season, Garnett won MVP by averaging 24 points, 14 rebounds, 5 assists, 1.5 steals, and over 2 blocks per game. He was the definition of a two-way player, excelling on both ends of the floor. Garnett was a nightmare for opponents, not just because of his trash talk, but because of his wingspan and defensive tenacity, which made going around him nearly impossible. His all-around game and mentality made him a cornerstone for any team that he played on. In that sense, the comparison to Cooper Flagg is more than fitting. What makes this comparison so compelling is the fact that both players have no glaring weaknesses. Garnett was a 15-time All-Star over his 21-year career, and that longevity and versatility are traits Flagg seems poised to emulate. Like KG, Flagg is a menace defensively. His size, length, and basketball IQ allow him to guard multiple positions, block shots, and disrupt plays at a high level. But where the comparison becomes even scarier is on the offensive end. Garnett was known for his mid-range game, post moves, and ability to stretch the floor, but Cooper Flagg has shown signs that his offensive ceiling is even higher. Flagg, unlike Garnett, has the potential to be a true three-level scorer. His ability to drive to the basket, combined with his footwork and instincts, already makes him a deadly slasher. Add in the fact that his shooting mechanics, while still developing, show promise from the perimeter, you could argue that Flagg has more offensive upside at this stage of his career than Garnett did at the same age. Both players share an intensity and a drive to improve that makes this comparison particularly chilling for future opponents. But the biggest similarity between the two lies in their mentality. Garnett was known for his relentless work ethic and competitive fire, traits that Flagg is already displaying at a young age. Just like KG, Flagg seems to have that scarred mentality that makes him play with an edge and a chip on his shoulder, a trait that can elevate good players into great ones. So when we talk about Cooper Flagg in the same breath as Kevin Garnett, we're not just throwing out a random comparison. Both players have a rare combination of size, versatility, and intensity. If Flagg continues to develop his offensive game and sharpen his defensive skills, he could follow in Garnett's footsteps, or even surpass them. The scary truth, Cooper Flagg has traits similar to KG, with even more offensive upside. He might just become the next all-around dominant force in the NBA, much like Kevin Garnett once was, but with even more offensive potential. And the crazy part is that the future Duke star has to face a pressure that even Kevin Garnett didn't have to face. Let me explain. We're seeing so many of the national teams around the world are getting better and better. We're seeing how Canada is building around SGA and France is building around Wemby. And we're seeing so many foreign players dominate the league and win MVP awards in recent years. So let's be honest here. Team USA needs a generational player. In fact, it needs several if they want to maintain the wide gap that they once had from the rest of the world. Anthony Edwards and Jason Tatum might not be enough. And already, at just 17 years old, many have appointed Cooper Flagg to be next on the list. The hopes of the entire country are focused on a kid who hasn't even played a single minute of college basketball. But Flagg, he's special enough to deserve this recognition. And more importantly, he's special enough to overcome this enormous pressure and become the next American basketball great. But what do you think about Cooper Flagg? Will he live up to the hype or fold under the pressure? Do you agree with the comparison to Kevin Garnett? Let us know in the comments below. And if you liked this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more content just like it. We'll see you in the next one.